A year ago, at 275 pounds, I was morbidly obese. I couldn't have imagined doing this. Now, 104 pounds lighter, at 62, I was standing almost 13,000 feet up in the Swiss Alps, wondering if I was getting altitude sickness. 3 famous Swiss peaks, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, Jungfraujoch, and Mount Pilatus. One of them nearly became the biggest disappointment of my trip, and the one I expected least from may have ended up being my favorite. So which ones were worth it? But none of them went the way I expected. First up, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, 12,740 feet. As I climbed in the gondola, Zermatt kept getting smaller beneath me. And shortly after reaching the top, I started feeling lightheaded. At almost 13,000 feet, one thought hit me immediately: altitude sickness. Was it about to get worse? So I stopped, got something to eat, waited. But I was one of the lucky ones. It slowly passed. I was good to go. I thought my problems were over, but then I stepped outside. It was very cold, and the wind was brutal. So I'm fighting to get another layer on and pulling my gloves on, while my hands are already going numb. For a moment, I wasn't thinking about the Matterhorn, I was thinking about my fingers. But once I was warm enough to actually look around, wow. This was what I came to Switzerland for. Snow and mountains in every direction. And the Matterhorn right there. Then I did something I'd never done before. I walked inside a glacier, ice tunnels, ice sculptures. After the altitude and the cold, this mountain peak delivered. How does anything top this? Then came Jungfraujoch, known as the top of Europe, the place I was most excited about. So let me be totally honest and tell you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, we're starting with the ugly. The crowd started before I even arrived, 30 minutes before the first Eiger Express gondola even opened. Then the train was packed from the Eiger stop up to the top. People standing, people sitting on the floor. And at the top, people everywhere, lines barely moving. One of the world's most famous mountain peaks, and I was standing in yet another crowd. You see these crowded videos on YouTube, but you think it's never going to happen to you. Well, that was the ugly. But I still wanted to see the famous observation deck, the one on every YouTube channel. I worked my way through the complex and found a wait of more than an hour. Another line. At this time, I was done waiting in line. I skipped it. That was the bad. I came all this way, and this might be the most disappointing stop of the trip. But then the Jungfraujoch saved itself. The line to go outside, onto the actual glacier, was only about 15 minutes, so I did it. And the moment I stepped outside, everything changed. Snow, glaciers, and massive peaks in every direction. And suddenly I understood why everybody comes here. That was the good. Would I go back? Yes, because once you finally get outside, it really is spectacular, and someday I'll make it to the observation deck. I'm going back in December. After those two, I figured I'd seen Switzerland's biggest mountain peak experiences. I did a total of 13 mountains during my 4 weeks in Switzerland. Then came Mount Pilatus, and honestly, I wasn't expecting much. That turned out to be a mistake. Even getting there felt different. No giant crowds, just small gondolas climbing out of Lucerne. And up top, Pilatus didn't feel like a place you visit. It felt like a place you explore. I walked above the main building to one of the tallest peaks. Big views across the mountains. And then something completely different. Dragon caves. A path carved right through the mountain. Dark tunnels, openings in the rocks. Then you suddenly step back outside. Pilatus felt like an adventure, not overwhelmed by tourists. And it still had one last surprise. I didn't even leave the way I came up. Up one side by gondola, and down the other on the steepest cogwheel train in the world. I expected Pilatus to finish third. Instead, it may have been my favorite of them all. 3 Swiss peaks. 3 completely different stories. If you want more health to adventure stories from the Swiss Alps, subscribe. A year earlier, places like these felt out of reach. Health wasn't the destination. It gave me the strength to live this. I'm going back in December for the winter experience. Join me. What do you want me to do in December? Leave a comment below. And be sure to watch these 2 videos about my favorite 6 hikes in Switzerland.